Here is the test. Tyler's sitting there with a king. He has top pair, and let's see if he's able to get out of this hand cheap, because he should be able to. First of all, I don't like his call of a raise with king 7 of diamonds, so that's the first mistake he made. But I don't know his true...
What's Fraser going to do? Is Fraser... He's going to pass.
Pass.
All right.
Rise.
And this is what you said. You said that your goal against Tyler was gonna be trying to get all the chips in early,
exactly.
right?
My goal against Tyler is to because he's overplayed so many hands. Well, this is the thing. Now I know. I mean, he's willing to risk 100,000. Look at this.
Should Slade just call? He's in position.
75,000 more.
75,000 more.
How much more?
Okay, if I were Slade, I would have studied just a little while longer just to give him hope. Right? I mean,
75.
He made this raise so big that he might find he's pot committed.
that's exactly right.
Even against 3 queens.
That's exactly
I mean,
right.
He's got a backdoor flush draw.
Well, if he knew it was 3 queens, of course he'd lay it down. But
75,000.
Well, he's not getting 20 to 1, but he is getting about 6.5 or something.
okay, now look, here is a situation. If he makes this call, then that just tells me that
I just wonder, Phil, has Josh Tyler made this
That was
initial
ridic-
raise without looking at Slade's stack? Because it was
that was ridiculous. I mean, Tyler. Okay, now this is what I predicted in the first heat when he almost went broke with Jack 9. Is that he would go out early? Well, he didn't run into any tough situations. The first tough situation he ran into, he basically just donked off all of his chips and.
400K in this pot.
I mean, he's got 200,000 with a king and a 7 or whatever. I mean, it's pretty sick.
And where should he have done different? Was it the raise on the flop? I mean, what was the proper way to play the hand? Fold before the flop, or
well, of course,
call on the
fold.
flop?
First of all, fold before the flop. I mean, he busted himself on this hand, right? I mean, not busted himself, but he really hurt himself here.
Wish he did.
And
Queen's full.
not only that, he's looking sick. 20 years old, Phil. I mean, obviously a lot of promise, a lot of talent, but he's gonna kick himself there, isn't he?
Well, he knows he donked off the money. I mean, he knows that, and he'll be the first to tell you that I donked off the cash there. When you see two people both slow playing hands in the small blind and the big blind, it's usually two great players, because the lesser players or the really, really good players think that they always have to raise when they have a hand in the small blind or the big blind.
Are there any rules of thumb for how people can sort of
Go on.
improve their small blind versus big blind games? I mean,
Read not to.
Go on.
just to try and mix it
Bless
up, is that a
me
good
with a
rule of thumb,
hand.
or is...
Yeah, I mean, I think mixing it up is fine.
Check.
And no raise.
No, Annette, of course, she doesn't want to have 3 diamonds hit here.
No, she's on the button.
She's gone if that happens. Pretty unlikely event, though. Top
Wow.
2 pair.
Jeez, things are going very well for Nick Slade right now, aren't they?
He
Hey,
checked
guys.
top 2 and let her bluff
Pass.
at it with the 6-8.
Pass.
Pretty. And
Cool.
obviously
Wow.
a big enough hand to check call, but
And
what
he
if
just called. If a 9
Yeah.
pops off, though, wow.
Goodbye.
Yep.
Check.
The way that
She fell for it. Oh my God. This is where. Look at that. I mean, I told you. Wow. They're using her
23,000.
aggression against her just beautifully. Look at that hemming and hawing with 2 pair. Top 2 he flopped. Oh, what should I
The
do?
reason that Annette obviously doesn't think Slade has anything is,
Cool.
isn't it because
Oh, he's played her beautifully. As long as the
he's going to
9
let her
doesn't
file
come
a
off.
third bullet. It looks
Oh
like a
my
draw,
God.
right?
Yeah,
it looks like he's on a draw.
Exactly.
He's
Praying for a deuce. That's perfect.
30,000.
Wow.
This is really tough for Annette to figure out. This is really slippery, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I mean, he's really, really a little floater bet. That's a beautiful thing. Now, if for some reason she decides to raise 50, 60,000, she's going to find herself insta-called.
She has to consider that he could be bluffing, right? It's a real...
Oh, he has played her like a fiddle on this hand. Just
Do you
like
think
a
she might
fiddle.
fall for this?
Oh, he's played this hand so beautifully.
God,
It's
she'd
like
have to
she
commit
can't
a
help
lot.
it.
She would have to commit a lot. She's only got 217,000. She's made a raise.
80,000 total.
He's going to insta-call it. She has to kill her hand
Yeah.
instantly again. What a beautiful play. Now that's called you. Now that's what happens when you play super aggressively and everybody knows you're playing super aggressively. He played that hand just beautifully.
Phil, on every street, it seems like he did the perfect thing. I mean,
He checked to let her bluff off her money. She did. He checked to let her bluff off her money. She did. And then he put a little floater bet out there where she's going to have to raise it if she believes he's weak. And then he picked off that 50,000.
who would have thought Nick Slade, chip leader, 555, Phil, and he's done it in style, hasn't he?
Oh, he's done it very. I mean, what a beautiful play that was. I mean, I just. That's what you do against the super aggressive players. You use their aggression against them.
And-
You limp in with big hands. You let them bluff, 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 and then you put a little floater bet out there. That
Phil,
was beautiful.
I mean, if you were sitting in that seat, it's very logical to understand why she played the hand like that, right? I mean,
I might have been able to check on the flop and check on the turn and just call, but I don't think I would have bet the 30,000 on the river.
Nick Slade, and I mean, what is the other when he turned that hand over, the 7-10 of diamonds, Phil? What is going through the minds of the other players at this table? They were surprised, right?
Oh yeah, no, I mean instantly they realized the beauty of his play. They all right away said, "Oh my God, he check called with top two pair. He check called again and fired on the river." They all knew
Raise.
when they saw that hand that he's
10,000
tricky
total.
and that he
Pass.
played the hand just for a net,
Pass.
just to get her to bluff off her money.
Annette back in the swing here. She's got 137,000. Obviously, she's picked up a nice hand here, but does Slade think she's steaming?
Slade, I'm going to start calling him detective because Nick Slade is like a detective's name, right? So let's call him the detective. But that was just beautiful. He did some great PI work there with the 10-7.
What do you
I mean,
expect from
I
it?
mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the beauty of it was to check on the flop, check on the turn, and then float the bet out on the river was a
Sure.
really beautiful thing.
I mean, think how
wow.
much he picked up on the river there.
Yeah,
80,000.
yeah.
That's
If he
a
just
lot.
checks on the river, like I might have checked it.
Oh no.
Wow, and he's just held her number too. He's going to
Check.
check it here.
Check.
Wow, this time she checked. She wants nothing to do with trying to bluff him.
Yeah, two pair for Slade, and that
Top
only
two
can get out with
again.
the queen. That
Okay.
could be her tournament.
It's bye-bye in that.
10,000.
How can she get out of this? Can she?
Well, it could be bye-bye. Well,
Oh.
she just called because he's already shown her a weird hand. So,
Queen or Jack is what Overstad needs to make the
well,
winner.
5 would work too, but
Oh, right.
an
sure.
ace also. But
Right. Yeah, but besides that.
Slade should bet about 50,000 here.
30,000. Pass.
Wow.
Wow.
How did she get away from it?
Let's give Annette some credit there. I mean, she played that hand beautifully. I mean, she really had to call on the river. Not only did she fold it, but she folded it instantly.
And I mean, not just was it a great fold, but coming on the heels of the last hand when she should be steaming. I mean, she should at least make a tilt call.
Well, you know, look at her. She's played 43% of the hands. Nick Slade's played 48, but he's had hands. I mean, you know, queens. You know, she hasn't really had hands. I mean, she's kind of blasted off some of her chips here.
Basically, Nick Slade has won as many hands as the rest of them combined. He's running over this game.
It's a very psychological game, and I think people miss that. And I do like to target individuals, which is going to be very difficult today because you've got such a mix of very good players. So, you know, the cards are actually going to play quite a lot more than they would usually do.
Blinds are up, Phil. 3 and 6,000. Sometimes you just kind of forget where you are. And I'm not speaking about myself. I'm talking about Josh Tyler. And you just kind of have to wait until your brain comes back. You know, it takes a
You
lot
might
of
be talking about
concentration.
yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Here's Annette. And
15,000 total. Pass.
she's got a stack that is short, and she's gone for a very small raise here, but it's still 20% of her stack.
Okay, she's raised with A7 of diamonds. Now, Nick Slade, the detective, mind you, has called with 6-7, and he could get himself in a whole heap of trouble here because she has him dominated. He doesn't want to see a 7.
It was only 9,000 more, and Annette could use that money.
Check.
Should she play it strong or weak?